Hello and welcome to another edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. Right off the bat on today's show, there's been a lot of squawking all over the internet talking about Ferrari leaving Formula One. Now, thinking of a world of Formula One without Ferrari would be an interesting deal indeed. But I think this is something more about one person rather than the whole collective group at Scuderia Ferrari. Ferrari has a lot of clout with the FIA and a lot of clout with the former ownership group inside of Formula One, but now that the new ownership group, Liberty Media, is talking about power unit and regulation changes inside of the racing series known as Formula One coming up in the year of 2021, it's got a lot of teams, not only Ferrari, upset about this deal, but also Mercedes-Benz AMG and Renault are actually upset about this deal, even though those both groups have not actually threatened to leave. I think Ferrari's probably threatened to leave many times before, but they've done it behind closed doors. I think this all comes down to this guy, Sergio Marchionne, the head of FCA and the head of Ferrari, who's really been cracking the whip at Scuderia Ferrari, trying to get them to win more races and more championships while he's still at the helm of the company. And that's where the real trick of this story is the fact that Sergio Marchionne's not long for this world. Not meaning long for the world as far as him passing away, but long for the automotive world, because he's talking about leaving, or he's already planned on actually leaving FCA and Ferrari in the next year, but have been feverishly grooming the new man or woman who's going to be taking over this company and heading into the future, which may just be a shadow of Mr. Marchionne in the future, having a lot of his ideas. I think this story's a lot about nothing. I think it's more just Sergio talking a little bit out loud, or thinking out loud, so this may be a story that doesn't go anywhere, especially for the fact that Sergio may be long gone by the time these regulations become absolute rules in Formula One. Next up on the list, Christian von Koenigsegg's group, Koenigsegg, has just been taking a hatchet to Bugatti's records over the past several months. Not only have they taken back the 0 to 400 kilometers an hour and back down to 0 record from the new Bugatti Chiron, but now have taken back the speed record as well. The 5-liter twin-turbocharged V8 making 1,360 horsepower and 1,011 pounds-feet of torque, shifted through a 7-speed dual-clutch transmission, rear-wheel drive. The Christian von Koenigsegg group actually shut down a road in Nevada and made a 2-lap run in both directions, which is scheduled for a Guinness World Record, even though that hasn't been made official, whether the Guinness folks are there or whether they're going to get all the data loggers and the videos from the runs to actually make this an official Guinness World Record. But an unofficial record, at least as of yet, the new top speed record for a production automobile inside of the world that we live in is now 444.6 kilometers an hour, or 277.9 miles an hour. If you want to check out the video, it's up on the Facebook page as we speak. The link's down there in the show notes. And it does look a little bit sketchy at speed. Even though the car looks pretty poised, it doesn't look like that road is the world's greatest for going after these world record runs. And you will see, too, this thing, that 277 mile an hour, that is an average. This vehicle did make in one of the runs closer to 285 miles an hour. Pretty impressive feat for this beautiful automobile, but there may be a vehicle in the future that may take away that record, and it's not Bugatti, it's not Koenigsegg. It comes from the folks over at Hennessey. Hennessey showing off the brand new Venom F5 at the SEMA show. Now, this particular machine is supposedly a clean sheet of paper. Gone is some of the Lotus parts on this vehicle and the LSX General Motors source-based 7-liter V8 that they actually use with twin turbochargers hanging off of it. Now to a brand new 7.4-liter twin turbocharged V8, making what they're talking about around 1,600 horsepower and 1,300 pounds-feet of torque. That is shifted through a 7-speed single-clutch gearbox, and the vehicle is all rear-wheel drive. Now, as far as the vehicle itself, it's got a all-new blue sky thinking carbon fiber tub and carbon fiber bodywork, meaning this vehicle will weigh less than 3,000 pounds once the production vehicle is done. And thanks to a lot of tricks, thanks to some active aero situations, John Hennessey and his group are claiming this vehicle is going to be able to breach the 300-mile-an-hour barrier for a production automobile. No word on pricing or availability, and no word on whether we're actually going to see a production version of this vehicle, even though this thing looks pretty production ready, at least as far as I am concerned. So, cannot wait to hear some more records coming from the John Hennessey group out of Texas. Next up on the list, it's a little late, at least a week late, but a huge congratulations to Sebastian Ogier, now 5-time WRC championship for the drivers. He's done it 4 times with Volkswagen and now the first time with Ford and M Sport. Huge deal. I mean, he just basically took on all comers, even though a lot of his contemporaries had more stage wins, more rally wins, and more fast times than Mr. Ogier, but he kept plugging along, winning some of the big rallies, including Rally Monte Carlo, along with several others, and just collecting those points, finishing up in the points, finishing up on the podium. He did an amazing job taking M Sport to their first World Championship in a long, long time. So big congratulations to Sebastian Ogier. Another big congratulations to another Ford driver, helping them not only win, Ogier winning the World Championship, but also now helping the Manufacturers Championship, that being for M Sport and Ford. This is Elfyn Evans, the first ever time a Welshman has actually won Wales Rally GB in its entirety. Elfyn Evans took on all comers in this particular situation, looking poised and perfect. Those D-Mac tires were really the tires of choice, even though they were pretty much the only group on those tires. So big congratulations not only D-Mac, but to Ford and M Sport and Elfyn Evans for this massive win. Now let's get on to M Sport, because Malcolm Wilson's group, known as M Sport, has got a pretty big situation on their hands, because for the first time in probably, 20 or 30 years, a non-factory team has not only won the Drivers' Championship, but the Manufacturers' Championship in the world, the FIA WRC. Malcolm Wilson spent the money in all the right places to actually get the group together to actually come around on this new spec regulations for 2017, and did an amazing job inside of this group, even with a rally left to go, wrapping up all the championships. But this does bring an ever-increasing, interesting situation for the 2018 season, because Mr. Wilson has already lost one of his big drivers, that being Oyt Tanek, who's already signed on with Toyota. Elfyn Evans may be on the books for next year, but we'll have to wait and see on that front. And Sebastian Ogier, now a 5-time world champion, really wants to get back with a factory team and has been talking quite aggressively with the folks over at Citroën about a factory ride. There was a report, at least in my mind, where I was thinking a little out loud, much like Elon Musk and Sergio Marchionne, that I thought that Ford was trying to make the moves on actually making M Sport a full factory-fledged team into 2018, which may mean, because Mr. Wilson did say in Rally's GB that he does not have the money as of yet to keep Mr. Ogier in the seat for next year. So we'll have to wait and see what could happen at M Sport and Ford, but all that's in the future. Big congratulations to this group for being the first non-factory team in a long, long time to win the WRC Championship. And that's all there was that I thought was worth talking about for this edition of Motor Cars Enthusiast. Don't forget to like us over on the Facebook page, especially if you want to go see that Koenigsegg video. You can check it out over there. Also, if you'd like to subscribe to the channel, you can do so at any time and get the first dibs on the brand new shows as soon as they come out. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again real soon.